Hey guys, Buff from Game back today, bringing out a video for Insurgency Sandstorm, and today we're going to be covering the G36 assault rifle available for the security forces for 3 points for majority of the classes available here in the game. So we'll go ahead, we'll jump into this. I'll build a few kits here that will show off. I'll show the recoil control, and then we'll jump into some gameplay while we go over some information about the weapon, both in-game and in real life. So first off, we'll start to build this. You can see here the G36K, or KERS for short. It is the carbine variant of the weapon available here in Insurgency Sandstorm. So slightly shorter barrel length and handguard length than the base G36 or the G36, the MG36, or the export variant of the G36. So G36K or KERS, what we're going to do for 3 points here available. So this is actually a very well-balanced and affordable assault rifle here available in-game. You can see right in the middle of the point layout here that you get anywhere ranging from, I believe it's 1 up to 6 points. So here at 3, this is a very well balanced all-purpose rifle, I would say. So we'll go ahead and start off with the barrel option. For the gameplay you're going to see, I'm going to run a flash hider. Obviously you can play with your points how you want. You'll see me run the flash hider here in the gameplay. Again, that's just going to reduce my muzzle flash when firing. Definitely useful, more so in PvP, but flash hider. Underbarrel attachment. Now, I've played, I think the G36 may be my most used weapon so far. I really love to run the smoke launcher or the aiming grip, and then sometimes I also run the recoil grip. So anywhere you can range out these points or spread them from 1 with the smoke launcher to 3 with the aiming grip and the recoil grip. So for this purposes for the video, we're going to be running the recoil grip for 3 points. We'll go ahead and put that on. That'll reduce the weapon's vertical recoil and make it easier to follow up shots on target, especially help us control that full auto a little bit better, which this weapon's recoil is relatively easy to control. So we'll select that. Magazine, we're going to leave it at the base 30. However, you do have an extended magazine here available for 35 rounds of the 5.56x45 NATO. And for the side rail here, you can see when we select that, you're going to get Picatinis on the left and right-hand side at the end of the handguard there. We'll go ahead and set the laser sight for 2 points. That'll give us that Pec 15 available on the right-hand Picatinny. So we'll select that. Now this weapon, very unique or cool feature here. You can see at base you have the carrying handle, which does have the Picatinny railed as well as the iron sights. So this would be one of the 2 variants of the G36K. One comes with the integral sights, and another one is what you see here with the iron sights with the Picatinnies, which we can see here on the weapon right now. However, there are the real-life custom optics available here. If we go ahead and look, we have 2 options here for the, I believe it's pronounced the Hensoldt SF dual optic or dual sights, so magnification sights. So we have both a 1.5 to 1 CH sight here, which I will be showing in the gameplay that you'll see me using this, as well as you do have the other one available here, which is a 3 to 1. You can see here available, this is the 3x1 CH sight bus. So this is going to give you both a 3 times and a top mounted delta, which is all integral with this carrying handle. You can see how it changes from the Picatinny carrying handle with the iron sights built in to the carrying handle with the optics built in. So this is that Hensoldt ZF G36 built-in carrying handle optics for both of these, both the 3x1 and the 1.5x1. So we'll start off, I'll show off the one that we're going to be using in the gameplay while we cover the recoil control. That is the 1.5x1 CH sight available for 1 point. If you want the 3 times optic, 3 to 1, it's going to be 2 points, I believe, which is, again, very affordable. So you can see there, it is going to be 2 points. So we'll go ahead and start with the 1.5x1. Go ahead and select that. And then for the camo, we're going to be running True Grit. I just like the aesthetic appeal of this, although you can always run the base G36, which, just to note here quick, if you do, you are going to notice you can see that transparent magazine, which does update with dynamic bullet, or you can see the rounds dynamically updating in the weapon itself or the magazine as you're firing them. So as you fire off 10 rounds will disappear for the magazine when you check it. Pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and put True Grit on just because that's what I'm going to use in the gameplay. Go ahead and we will spawn here. Let me just go ahead and update this. So here is our weapon here. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and check out the recoil before we jump into the gameplay. I'm going to show off both sights here, as well as we'll just go over some quick things with the weapon. So first off, we have our, if we point this up, you can see it in that dark room. We have the Pec 15 on, off, on. So that's how we do that. Now you have 3 fire modes available for this weapon. We have both fully automatic, 2-round burst, and single. So keep that in mind that, again, this is one of those weapons that's just extremely versatile for almost all situations, especially because it is a G36K. It is a shorter version or a carbine version of the G36, so it does make it, again, great for clearing buildings and rooms as well. So we'll start at full auto. You can see here, we'll let this thing rip at full auto with the 1.5 magnification. You can also see what that top-mounted iron looks like with the 1x. So we'll go ahead and let this rip. I'm not going to control it, and then we'll compare the recoil versus controlling. So we'll just line that up right there. So that, let me go ahead. Let's do that once more, because I think I was actually firing on this wall earlier. So we'll let that run. And you can see it's just going to go straight vertical up to the sky. So again, very easy to control this. Let's go ahead and we'll side by side. I'm just going to point down to here. We'll just try and control this time with the 1.5. So after that initial kick, it's going to settle if you're pulling down slightly on the stick or the mouse, whatever you're using. This is obviously PS5 gameplay. So we'll go ahead and try it again. You can see at the right ranges, these are all kill shots. These are all center mass body shots. Now we can also go 2-round burst and then single fire. So we'll go ahead and we will reload once more. And then what I'll do is also I'm going to full auto, control, and focus at the same time. So I'm going to focus. Except I messed that up with my stick. Let's try it once more. So again, relatively tight right there. Again, it's a little hard the way I have my focus control layout here. Let's try it once more. So again, you can just pull down a little bit more, and that's going to be right on target. But again, that's like belly button to sternum type shots right there. Those are all kill shots, like I said. So really cool weapon. Again, that's our 1 and our 1.5. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to show off the 3x optic really quick before we jump into the gameplay. And I also want to show off the charging handle, the ambidextrous charging handle, and the ambidextrous fire control. So let's go ahead and we'll swap out that 1.5 to 1 for the 3 to 1. Go ahead and put that on. And there we go. We have our megs. We're ready to go. So let's go ahead now, and you know what? We can actually probably stand right here and utilize these targets. So let's go ahead. I'll check out. Let's switch to 2-round burst. That's our 1x. Here's our 3x. And again, I'm not really controlling that single burst right there, just trying to give you an idea. So that's what the 3x look like. Again, pretty zoomed in, right? Pretty nice. And then if we try the 1x here, you can see. Let's go ahead to full auto. I already blew off that target. Let's try this one. New magazine! Pretty easy to control. Again, and you have, for only 1 or 2 points based on the optic, you have extreme, I guess, versatility with this weapon. Not only for the length of the weapon, easy to get in buildings, CQC engagements, as well as long-range engagements, especially with optics like this. Again, we can just engage these targets very, very easily. That's a 2-round burst. Let's just try if we're going to go for headshots at range. This thing is deadly accurate and a very easy to control weapon to get shots on target. Obviously, we wouldn't want to try and rip full auto at that range. But again, you can see it's just a really nice weapon, especially with these customized optics for the weapon, which is real life. We can even dump right there. You can see. So even though we didn't focus, we didn't hit all of our shots, that's still a kill on a target at that range at full auto. If I try to focus here, did a horrible job of controlling that, but you get the idea. Those are shots you can definitely hit at full auto if you need to. Now, really quick, just do a quick reload. I'm going to show off just the ambidextrous firing controls. So here we are at full auto. Now you can see the operator using his right thumb on the left side of the weapon to adjust that when I switch. However, these are completely ambidextrous, so there's the same fire select controls on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. And then if we go ahead and we'll dump this magazine, now you can see the charging handle here up front. Do it once more. There's one animation where he pulls the charging handle back. So charging handle here up front. Here he should grab it. There you go. So he grabbed it with his left arm, and you can see that little pullback that he did went to the left side, obviously. But this, again, is ambidextrous. Now, when he grabs this to charge it, you could also do it right-handed based on whether you're left or right-handed. It would do the same. That little knob, I guess, that he's grabbing is on a swivel, so it's going to go to the left or right side to charge the weapon. So, pretty cool. We'll do a quick reload here where he's just going to release the bolt, not do a manual charge. You can see there. Boom. We're ready to go. We're back in action. That's our G36K or KERS. Really beautiful weapon. Again, probably my favorite weapon here in game. Go ahead and jump into the gameplay here. We're playing, I believe it is, where I'm playing Insurgents, and I forgot the name of the map. I want to say it's Tide, but I happen to be in the Insurgents this time. This is just regular checkpoint. A really good game here. I think I ended up going like 65-3. I did regular checkpoint again just because I primarily play hardcore checkpoint, but those games can be a little bit boring if you're not hardcore into that. I will be posting those games. I do have a lot of good games for that, but for the purposes of showing off the weapon, I want something where we're actually engaging a lot, although I do have some pretty high kill hardcore checkpoints with the G36C, but this will give you a good idea, especially we're using it here with this built-in 1.5 to 1 optic. So really great build here, and you can just see the versatility of this. I think we have some good close quarters and longer range engagements as well. Now, some other things that I really like to use with it, I really like to use the 2 times hollow. We have the 1 times holographic for the EOTech with the 2 times flip on there. Available for 2 points. Is probably one of my primary optics I use on this in hardcore checkpoint. Other than that, my build is basically the same. I might swap out the recoil grip, like I said, with the smoke launcher or the aiming grip, and it's just overall a really, really good weapon. Now, for the in-game stats for this thing, the caliber, again, 5.56x45 NATO. Fire rate in-game is going to be, at full auto, it's going to be 741 rounds per minute with a bullet velocity of 850 meters per second. Penetration is 299 penetration points. Horizontal recoil is 10, while vertical is 22. And the horizontal is going to go slightly to the left, vertical going to go up and to the right. Mag capacity is 30. Again, when we do have the 3 select fire modes for full auto, 2-round burst, and single fire. So those are the in-game stats for the weapon. Now, in real life, this thing was put into service in the German military in 1997 to replace the G3 battle rifle, which fired the 7.62 by 51 millimeter caliber. Again, that's also an H&K weapon. So the G3 battle rifle, we've talked about that quite a lot here on the channel as well for other games. But the G3 was the primary battle rifle. They needed something a little bit better and time to replace the G3 because it had been around for so long. So they opted to go to the 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO round, that being the G36. So that was put into service in 1997, replacing the G3, and it's been a very popular weapon ever since. Been in use by a lot of, or a variety of different police forces and militaries around the world. Germany, Spain, United Kingdom. I think Malaysia also utilizes the G36 as their primary assault rifle within the military. The G36 is a gas-operated assault rifle and feeds a 30-round magazine or a 100-round C magazine, which you'll see in games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We've covered it there quite extensively as well. Now, interesting piece of controversy here is in 2012, the G36 was apparently found to suffer a overheating problem with the which caused inaccuracy. So the handguard for the weapon, basically the weapon overheated and it caused a slight warp, which caused the weapon apparently to be a little bit inaccurate. And due to that, they found this as basically a defect, so they put forth a project to replace the G36. Weapons that were running were the HK416 and the HK433. Also the 433 known as the Kilo 141 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, when we covered this weapon, I believe like 2 years ago for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, at the time the HK433 was set to replace this in 2020 or 2021. Now, the HK433 did run into some big roadblocks. That's no longer the case. It's out of the running. So now, apparently, the HK416A8 will be replacing the G36 in 2022. However, the G36 has been around for a long time, and all the information I've looked at regarding the G36 and its accuracy problem with the overheating of the barrel causing warping with the barrel and the handguard and the melting of the handguard seems to be, I guess, met with criticism as not being 100% accurate. Obviously, when you're full autoing a weapon like that, it's going to cause the barrel to heat. Now, because of the material that the weapons are made out of, it may indeed cause melting. But however, you'd have to be, I think they've already done tests on this, you'd have to be dumping this thing full auto insanely fast without giving the weapon any time to cool down for this to really happen. So I think it sounds like it's very rare, more so probably just an opportunity to replace their assault rifle within the military, and this is kind of the excuse they were looking for. But everyone that I've really read about who experienced military folk who have used the weapon and got hands on the weapon haven't had any problems with it. I know especially Mike over at Grand Thumb's YouTube channel did quite a few videos on his G36C, I want to say. And again, he covered this a little bit, I believe, in one of those videos where, again, subjective, you really have to be putting a lot of rounds through this. And for all the rounds he's put through his and other channels, they haven't had any issues with this. So, seems to be, I think Larry Vickers has also talked about this, seems to be probably, it's definitely not 100% of the time, and it seems to be something that occurs very rarely. However, the G36 has been in service since 97, so probably time to look at phasing it out anyways. So the HK 416-88 will be apparently replacing this in 2022 this year. Not sure when that's going to be, and obviously it'll be a slow phase out. It's not going to happen overnight. Now, there's a lot of different variants of the G36 in real life. You're going to have different versions available here in the game. We're covering the G36K, and there's a couple different iterations of that. However, you have the G36C, which is the compact version. You have the K, which is the Kurz, or the short version, which we'll cover here. You have the KV, which is an exported version of the K. You also have the G36V or E, which, again, this is another export version. G36A2 and the MG36, which MG36, very similar to the G36E or export. MG36 has been discontinued at this point as well. So the G36K, major changes between the base G36 are going to be that it is a carbine variant, meaning it does have a shorter barrel length and a shorter profile for the handguard. It's fitted with an open type flash suppressor at base and this shorter forend, like I said, with the handguard and the barrel, obviously. So this includes a bottom rail to mount grips, flashlights, etc. Obviously, here in game, you can put when we put the PEC 15 on, we see rails mounted on both the left and the right-hand side. The weapon will retain the ability to use the AG-36 grenade launcher. The G36K has been in service with German Special Forces and is also equipped with the base 30-round transparent magazine, and the 100 CMAG drum is also available for this. So, like I said, also, there's two versions of the G36K. There's the one most commonly seen, which does have that built-in optics with the carrying handle, which we covered, as well as the other one, which does have a rail or Picatinny railed handguard with the iron sights built in, and then it's just easier to mount optics on there. So that's the G36 information of the G36 and the G36K. If we look at some real-world or real-life stats for the weapon, again, this falls under the category of assault rifle or carbine, or even squad automatic weapon based on the version. That would be anywhere from the G36 to the K to the C to the MG36. Been in service since 1997 through present. It's used by over 40 countries for military and police use. The designer is H&K or Heckler & Koch. Design period was 1990 through 1995. And produced models here, G36K 1997 through present, is still being produced and used within the military and special forces. Number of units built is 260,000 plus. The mass of the G36K is going to be 7.3 pounds or 3.30 kilograms. The length of the weapon for the G36K is going to fall a little bit shorter, like I said, than the base G36. It's going to be 860 millimeters in length, or 33.9 inches with the stock extended. With a folded, that'll cut down to 24.2 inches or 615 millimeters. Now, the barrel length for the G36K is going to fall at 318 millimeters or 12.5 inches versus the base G36 or the MG36 or the export versions, which is that full-length barrel, is going to be at 480 millimeters or 18.9 inches. So, significant difference there from the 18.9 inches to the 12.5 inches. And then on the flip side, you have the G36C, which comes in at a 9-inch barrel. So the width for the weapon is going to be 64 millimeters or 2.5 inches, and the height for the weapon is going to be the same as the base G36 and some of the other versions. It's going to come in at 320 millimeters or 12.6 inches. So the cartridge, as we discussed, is that 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO round. The action is a short stroke piston rotating bolt system. Rate of fire in real life is going to be 750 rounds per minute, which matches really closely to what we have in game at 741. The muzzle velocity for this weapon, for the G36K, is going to be 850 meters per second, which again is spot on with what we have in the game. Effective firing range for the G36K is going to be 500 meters or 550 yards, with the maximum firing range being at 2,860 meters or 3,130 yards. And the feed system, 30-round detachable transparent magazine or the 100-round C-Mag. And we already covered all the optics for this weapon. So that's the G36K here in game for Insurgency Sandstorm on PS5. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of Insurgency Sandstorm videos already available in the playlist. A lot of Modern Warfare. We have some Tarkov. We cover a lot of different variety of things here. World War III. All that stuff here on the channel. Modern Warfare 2 coming out later this year. Really looking forward to that. We'll be having that weapon wish list out here soon. So again, if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and show some support. Helps out smaller channels like myself as we're building up here, getting ready for Modern Warfare 2. Going to be a big year later this year. So let me know what you guys think down below of the G36K in general. What you think of it here in the game, and what you think of Insurgency Sandstorm. This right now, my #1 game. Love this game. I play it almost every day. You can do everything in this game, and it never gets old. So let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, this is Buffner Gaming with the G36K or Kurz in Insurgency Sandstorm on PS5. Till next time, Buffner Gaming out.
Enemies under objective!